Hey YouTube, Incendar here. There's been a lot of comments and PMs and guild requests always, where do I find this particular tree so I can get the timber or sap or whatever. And I've always been saying, I'll do a video on it eventually. So today, hopefully, I'll cover all the different trees. I believe there's 12 of them. There's a couple good, these are all the best spaces I know of and where I go to get the stuff. I usually go for high density, or with trees, you can usually find a line of them where you can just run across, and that really determines how long it's going to take you to gather whatever particular timber or sap you're looking for. So if you know any better high density or places that I don't mention in here, make sure to put that in the comments. Would love to have some better spots. So right now, I guess the biggest one is pine timber. I'll be using the Something Lovely website that actually you can just type in whatever you're looking for and it shows every little dot where it is. It's highly accurate and I use it all the time. It's great. For pine, you'll notice a lot in the southern region here. There's a couple different areas for pine that people really enjoy. Pulling up the map here, you see down by Trent, there's a lot of pine. And as you go north here, Florin's another good spot with a lot of pine north of it. I find that a lot of the trees aren't active though, whereas this area down here I always use south of Heidel, just south of Eastern Gateway, close to its castle ruins. There's tons of pine, and it's really super high density, but they're all active, so you can get the pine really quick here. And this is the place I always go. Same with logs. Next we have cedar, which is another timber that's all in the southern region here. Actually, a really good spot for this is where I am now too. You'll notice where I am, you'll have maple, pine, and cedar. So this area is great for all of them, and if you're going for logs, you can just go for any tree. For the cedar, it just looks a little, the pines are kind of scraggly looking, and the cedars have more leaves. But another good place to start is around where I am, just a little southwest of Eastern Gateway, tons of cedar. Another one that people sometimes have problems with is maple. Now you'll notice on this maple map, it kind of runs in lines along roads, right? So actually maple is actually really easy to get. You notice it's these little tiny trees. But if you start again here, again, you'll probably see this is my favorite place in the game now, just south of Eastern Gateway. The maple will start here and run along the road. You can actually follow this for a really long time down one side of the road and then come back. And by the time you come back, the spawn will be back on these again, so you can just do it again. Perfect for maple. So for most of the guild quests that pop up, or cedar, pine, maple, this is a great area for all three. And logs, of course. This is actually one of the best places for logs that I've found. Next up we have ash. You can see it's pretty highly concentrated in the newer areas, or the older areas I should say. The best place for this one, at least the one that I use, the den over here and Bandit's Den Byway. Tons of it up here in this mountain, but also if you run north along the river here, tons of ash. Really easy, high density. Then we have birch. Some people have a problem with this one too, but you can see it's pretty much everywhere. Now for the highest density, where I like to go is just I go up to this goblin cave and just a little east. These mountains in between Medaya and Serendia and up here, tons of birch in here. Super high density, fast to get. There's two different trees, one's the way with the black spots, and there's another one too that is in kind of like a group, but you'll find it up here. Then we got fir, and out of all the times I've gotten into fights over gathering, it's almost always been fir. One time was sheep, but like 5 times fir. Not sure why. There's tons of locations for it. I tried all these southern ones. There's invisible walls and other issues where you can't really get it. So let's pull the map back up. Most people are familiar with the fir forest of death. which is just east of Western Guard Camp. And tons of fur. Only about a third of them or a quarter of them are active though, so it's really not a good place to actually get fur in a fast amount of time. It's actually better to go up to, well, Costa Farm up towards Olvia, even down here. You'll notice the roads are lined with fur, so you can just run down one side all the way up here and run all the way back along these roads. You actually, every tree's active, so you get the fur really quick. And that shows up in this map too. If you look in the north here, near Olvia, you can see the green dots just following the road. So a piece of cake to get fur, and it's much faster near Olvia. And most people do it near Western Guard Camp, so a lot less chance of getting into a fight. For Palm, Valencia City, from the islands out here. Don't really use this too much or gather it too much, but we can look at the map to see there's some pretty high density areas. Acacia, you'll find that in Valencia, but you'll also see it in its highest density in Medalla. It sells pretty well, and it's got some uses. I've tried to gather it up here in Northern Highlands, south of the Mausoleum. It's not really that dense, though. I mean, so you might know a really good spot for this, but that's the best spot I know of. Cactus. Okay, I think a guild quest did pop up for this once, and it was pretty horrible. Because Cactus, for one, well, you're going to be in the desert mostly. And then Cactus doesn't give logs. It does have some uses in cooking. I can't really see this selling too much, but if for any reason you need it, you want to go to Valencia, and there's actually a line that runs along the southwestern part of the desert here to get to that one. I just usually run over to, let's see, Sand Grain, and just run down here along the edge of the desert. There's an oasis down here too that has a bunch. Not sure if you'll ever be looking for it though. Elder, near Basham's, and I guess for the northwest part of Valencia, I never actually tried that. I had this one lovely quest and a guild quest too, tried to solo it. Actually, it was successful, but took quite some time. So this area has a lot of them, that's where I got them. Then we got white cedar. Mostly a Medalla thing. Out of all the timbers that I can sell pretty much instantly on the marketplace, this one always tends to hang. So maybe there'll be some more stuff using this in the future. But if you need it, that's where you'll find it. Again, I'll put the link below if you know a really quick way to get this. Not sure if anybody will be actually looking for this one. And then we got Old Tree, which, I found these when I was going after cactuses over in Valencia, but I'm not really sure what the purpose of all the items. We're going to have to look this up. If there is something profitable or a reason to be gathering this, please leave a comment so I can look into it more. Maybe it's something that'll be added later, more important at some later time. But that's a map for that one. Okay, and just to wrap up all the timbers and saps. With Battleship 2, remember pine and logs are going to be the most important too. So my favorite spot in the game is just south of Hydal. I run down to this eastern gateway and just go crazy here in the woods between castle ruins, and you can actually go all the way over here to monastery and further actually, and a huge line no matter how much energy you have, just knocking out trees. Again, here pine, maple, cedar is great. And this is one of my favorite areas, so check it out. Hopefully this will help you out with your timber and sap needs. Subscribe and you'll get a notification whenever I put out something new. Thanks to everybody for watching, and I'll be back with more later. Thanks.